the ChocoNuvo at midnight. And once again, we're doing a sneak peek at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. And I guess I'll join him because he doesn't have much to say. He's actually not feeling his very best today. I think he hurt himself exercising yesterday. We're actually going to go to the veterinarian in a little while. Poor little guy. So, hopefully, this is another home video. Muriel's behind the camera right now. She'll be disappearing in a moment. Oh, this is lovely. So as you can tell, this is not serious, a serious video here, but it is a good video camera. So we're just at home and announcing the ChocoNuvo Today Special. ChocoNuvo was the Today Special back in December. Unfortunately, we had to abbreviate all our airings and we had no Today's Special. We had none available for the Today Special for ChocoNuvo in the evening. So, unusual thing, we're back with the Today Special for ChocoNuvo tonight. We were able to make a little bit more than we had the last time, but we've been basically out of stock of ChocoNuvo for the past 4 months. That's because unlike my normal vitamin supplements, ChocoNuvo unfortunately involves cocoa beans. And because it's our own unique chocolate, unfortunately, we have to order the cocoa beans in advance, and those cocoa beans have to be prepared into chocolate. So it's a multi-month process. We actually have to order them from where they come from, South and Central America, from all over the world. So it's a complex process. Also, because our cocoa beans are organic and fair trade, it limits us dramatically on what's available to us. And of course, like my teas, everything has to pass my taste test or we will not be making chocolate. So it's something that, unlike other chocolate companies that just kind of mass produce chocolate, ours can never and will never be that way. So our ChocoNuvo is organic, it's fair trade, and it's going to be available tonight again, right now actually, because we're doing an early Today Special. And first, I should thank Roger Teeter. This is Roger Teeter's hour where he's doing his inversion table. And his inversion table is something that I've had for probably a couple of decades. Interestingly enough, and I mentioned this to him before, about 30 years ago, maybe longer, 36 years ago, back in 1980, I think it was a company called Gravity Guiding Systems or something like that. I had these inversion boots. If you ever saw the movie with Richard Gere, American Gigolo, in that movie, he had these boots on that you put on your feet, and then you take like a chin-up bar, and you hook the boots around the chin-up bar, and you invert. And you could do things for your abs and things like that, but if you get tired, or if your abs aren't strong enough, you're not getting back up. So Roger's table is brilliant because it makes it easy for anyone to do it. Even my mom could do it. And I do it all the time, and I've always done it because as much as I try to move around and do things to remain healthy, running, hiking, biking, I'm constantly dealing with gravity. We all are. So inversion is one of the most practical and common sense ways to undo gravity. We spend our whole lifetime aging, and aging is difficult. With aging, we lose flexibility. With aging, we lose our muscle mass. With aging, we lose our cardiovascular fitness. So we need to do things to counteract aging. And one of the things we do is to move around. And in moving around, we expose ourselves even more to the forces of gravity. So inversion is a great, wonderful thing to do. And Roger will be talking about that in a moment. And it's a great product. So a wonderful product, and pretty much anyone can do it. So, so I thank Roger for giving us a few moments here. But ChocoNuvo, our ChocoNuvo, is unlike any chocolate in the world. When I announced that in December, I appreciate that so many of you trusted me and tried it. And what's fascinating is dark chocolate is typically the chocolate that Americans don't like. We like milk chocolate. We like white chocolate. We love milk chocolate. So dark chocolate, I expected we'd average about maybe high 2s, 3 stars, because it's great chocolate, but it's dark chocolate. But because our dark chocolate is so unique, because the cholesterol-lowering ingredient we add actually improves the texture and the flavor and removes the bitterness, and our chocolate only has about 1 gram of sugar, just 1 gram of sugar. That's 1/4 of a teaspoon per 26 calorie square, and each square is only 26 calories. It's not bitter, it melts in your mouth, it's truly amazing. And if you have a square with each meal, or even just a square with 2 meals a day, you're going to lower your cholesterol 10, 15, 20% or more. It is remarkable. It's remarkable that the healthiest chocolate in the world actually is the best tasting. It sounds like a marketing slogan, but it's actually a factual statement about this product, about ChocoNuvo. If you look at the reviews from just one airing back in December, it shows you how compelling a product it is, because I think folks got so excited. There's almost 500 reviews. I think there's 478 reviews, averaging 4.6 stars, meaning a taste product, a food product, a dark chocolate of all things, is over 90% positive reviewed. And sure, some people said it was too dark for them, they didn't like the flavor. And actually some of the very few negative reviews, I think there were a total of 20 or 25 negative reviews, said they thought it was too expensive for what it is. Well, if it's just plain chocolate, it's expensive chocolate. But for gourmet chocolate, it's appropriately priced. But if you also realize, for instance, in the large size, a 300 count, that 300 count is the equivalent of 300 capsules of cholesterol. Even at today's special on cholesterol, that would be about $60 or $70. So the cholesterol ingredient plus the cholesterol ingredient in the ChocoNuvo, it's a liquid material called plant sterol esters. The cholesterol ingredient in the powder form that's in the cholesterol capsules both act the same, but the liquid that's in the ChocoNuvo is almost twice as expensive. So it gives you a sense of the value of the cholesterol in this ingredient. I'm not just a chocolate maker, and certainly we're making now the best chocolate in the world. I make a functional food. I make vitamins. So my chocolate, whether you want to or not, it's going to lower your cholesterol. My mom plays mahjong all the time, and she got such a kick out of the fact that the women were over at her house recently playing mahjong, and they were eating the chocolate, and she's like giggling like candy. And I said, Mom, that's because the chocolate's just as good as any candy chocolate. And she's like, little do they know it's the healthiest chocolate. It's also lowering their cholesterol. And then she told them afterwards, and they were all astounded. So it's a wonderful, unique product. Chocolate comes with problems. One of the first problems I mentioned is, unlike other supplements I make, I can't snap my fingers and manufacture in our facilities, which we just had our live remote. You saw our facilities. I can't snap my fingers and make the chocolate. Literally, the cocoa beans have to be grown. We have to order them in advance. They're organic and fair trade, which limits us greatly. They have to fit a certain flavor profile, which limits us even more. So that takes months, and we've now ordered in advance for the fall. So we now have cocoa beans available for the fall. Unfortunately, after this Today Special, ChocoNuvo, we don't have cocoa beans coming for a couple of months, but also it will be summer. Summer, obviously, chocolate melts. These aren't M&Ms, so they melt. So that's a problem. And HSN doesn't have the facilities to ship products out cold packed. Plus, we'd have to ship next day or second day, which means that adds $20, $30 minimum to the cost of a shipment. Actually, then you have to add the cold packs, which weigh 3 or 4 pounds. So you're literally shipping a 3 or 4 pound chocolate container that weighs 7 or 8 pounds because you have the cold pack. So unfortunately, we can't do another special event like this with all this great savings and the normal shipping again until, and I cringe to say it, until probably the middle to end of October. So ChocoNuvo today goes away for the better part of 7 months. So unfortunately, it's the idiosyncrasies, it's the unusual characteristics of this product. It actually is a product that has to be grown and designated in advance because it's organic and fair trade and a certain flavor profile. Then, even once we produce it, we can only ship it about 5 or 6 months a year. So we're really limited. Actually, we'll probably be able to ship again maybe in October. We'll be able to do something, and again until early March. So what is that? That's basically October, half of October, November, December, January. So it's about 5 months a year we can make this available. We might have ChocoNuvo in the summer, but sadly it will probably come with about a $30 shipping charge. It'll probably cost us more than that to actually ship it because we have to add several pounds of cold packs and then the pack product itself, and then we have to ship it next day or second day air. So the greatest savings, the greatest opportunities will be the 5 months a year. And what I will try to do is plan better next year to make sure that we have enough chocolate available during this time of year to tide everyone over. Something else we're doing, We're also going to be making available on the large size. If you want to stock up, if you're sharing with someone else, the second, third, fourth bottle, there's not even going to be a quantity. Usually we have a quantity limit. We're not even doing that. So the second, third, or fourth bottle will come with a $10 additional savings. So when you look at the cost of ChocoNuvo for the event today, poor Link, he's really hurting. He has trouble moving around. So he's going to go to the vet. We'll go to the vet in a little bit. But if you look at the savings on the, are you going to show your back to the camera, buddy? If you look at the savings, we're going to take another $10 off. But if you look at the pricing of our ChocoNuvo compared to typical gourmet chocolate, it's about the same price or lower priced. So you can find squares that cost more than our squares and don't contain the cholesterol ingredient, which is the most important and the most expensive part of it. Where'd Link go? He's all the way behind me. So this is going to be a fun event. We'll kick it off at midnight. So right now, for those of you who, like me, would have normally been asleep at midnight, I promise I'll be awake tonight at midnight, you have a chance to order it. Because I've heard so many times that by the time you tune in, you plan on watching the evening show tomorrow, and the product is all gone. So the product might be gone tomorrow evening. I hope not, because we brought in about 50% more than we had in December. But I know there's going to be a lot of reorders. I know everyone's been asking when it's available. But there truly is no chocolate like ChocoNuvo in the world. And as far as I hear a lot of things about the health of chocolate, our chocolate, you could read the reviews, and I've heard it over and over, because it's 26 calorie pieces, it's helped people manage their sweet tooth. It's helped people manage their dessert. Instead of a big dessert, they're having a 26 calorie piece. If they have two, it's 52 calories. There's no dessert that low in calories. Also, our chocolate has about a gram of sugar. As I mentioned, I think that's less sugar than an equal caloric quantity of blueberries. So our dark chocolate, unlike milk chocolate or other chocolates, which are high in sugar, our dark chocolate is low in sugar. The fats are healthy fats. There's been so much misinformation about fat over the past several years, and so much negative information about certain kinds of saturated fats and the like. So I would not be talking about the health benefits of chocolate if chocolate was unhealthy. The research on the benefits to a broad base of folks with even health challenges, whether it's blood sugar issues or cardiovascular issues, the research is compelling in terms of the benefits of dark chocolate. Not milk chocolate so much, dark chocolate. So this is dark chocolate. It doesn't taste like dark chocolate. In your mouth, it doesn't feel like dark chocolate, but it's dark chocolate, and it's 74% dark chocolate. So it truly is a remarkable product. There's no chocolate like it anywhere in the world. We've already gotten some reviews from folks that also talked about the cholesterol benefits, but you could read the reviews for CholesterCare. And as well as CholesterCare works on its own, the capsules, it will work equally well, if not better, when it's combined with the ingredients in the ChocoNuvo. So I hope you enjoy the ChocoNuvo Today Special. Again, there's extra savings on the large size. My apologies that it's been gone for 4 months. My further apologies that after today, it's pretty much going to be gone for another 7 months. We'll probably have it available, but only with a $30 or $40 shipping charge. And my apologies, but that's what FedEx or UPS charges us for overnight shipping and all the cold packs and things like that. And in the summer, we wouldn't be able to ship it any other way. In fact, by the way, if ChocoNuvo melts, and I put it in my pocket and things like that, it melts, all you need to do is stick it in your refrigerator, stick it in your freezer, it's fine. It might change its shape a little bit, but that's why we put it in these special foil wrappers. You put it in your refrigerator, you put it in your freezer, it's fine, totally fine. In fact, Muriel has been doing all sorts of cooking with ChocoNuvo. We'll be posting some recipes in the future that she's put together on ChocoNuvo. So it's fine if it does happen to melt. But in the summer, we don't want to ship out chocolate to everyone where 80–90% of it melts. They're in these perfect little pretty squares with our little heart, little shaped logo on it. So we prefer that you get it in its appropriate form. So I think that's about enough information. I hope it lasts throughout the day. I doubt if it will. I'm really not expecting that it's going to last throughout the day. But this gives everyone an opportunity to order in advance to get more of the large size to stock up. We'll be on at midnight. instead of doing our long airings that we typically do for today's special, we'll probably abbreviate these airings just because we want to have enough to go around. So it does last in the evening. What I have realized, because I only do 3 today's special airings a day, I do midnight, I do noon approximately, 11 or noon in the morning, and then I do later in the evening. I do 8 p.m. in the evening, and that's it, Eastern time. So it's very easy to miss the 3 of them, and then you miss out on a Today Special. And my entire business plan is structured around giving you opportunities to pay the least for each product. And that's why I love to see everyone being able to take advantage of the Today Special. And in the case of ChocoNuvo, it's been about 99% sold as a Today Special, which is exciting for me because everyone saves, but not good for you because it hasn't been available all the time. And unfortunately, it will go away again. So it's an amazing product. It's one of my most proud accomplishments. It is indeed a dietary nutritional supplement. It looks like chocolate, it tastes like chocolate, and it is the best dark chocolate in the world, but it also lowers your cholesterol. As Americans, we abuse cholesterol-lowering drugs. Maybe it's our doctors and pharma that abuses cholesterol-lowering drugs. So here's another tool to enable you to achieve those numbers using less of those drugs, working with your doctor to reduce them, to eliminate them. You could read the reviews on Cholestericare. It actually is that powerful. 1 piece with each meal, 2 pieces with a large meal. Children can take this. The cholesterol-lowering ingredient is not a drug or a medicine. If you have perfect cholesterol, you could still enjoy this and enjoy it as a wonderful, delicious chocolate treat that whether you want to or not, it's still delivering an abundance of health benefits. So I will see you at midnight tonight. I will be awake tonight at midnight. If you watch now and got your ChocoNuvo, you don't have to be. I'll actually be on at 11 p.m. We'll be doing a variety show in advance of the midnight ChocoNuvo hour, and then we'll be back, I think at 11 a.m. actually, and then we'll be back at 8 p.m. in the evening. So we will see you soon. Linkies hopefully will be feeling better, and I will see everybody in just a few hours. Have a great evening, and thanks.
Well, that was exciting. Thank you so much. I know over 25, maybe 2,600 people have already pre-ordered the ChocoNuvo. You should too. Now is the time to do it. I know he'll be here tonight at 11, throughout the day tomorrow, but that today's special will be front and center on our homepage of hsn.com. I welcome you to take advantage of the ChocoNuvo Today Special. Andrew mentioned during that presentation that he is such a fan of the Teeter hang-up table, and I was talking to Roger about that. So we'll share those stories and more after we check in with the Spotlight.